Hello guys, Dimitar here from the False9 team. You will see me on Discord and Twitter under the handle of Wildthorn. Before kicking off the walkthrough of team registration and squad building, I want to thank you all who entered into the False9 world and have the patience to be with us while we are rolling out the first functionalities in the game. We call this early access stage of the game a preseason, as our goal is to gather your feedback and with your help build the best version of the game we envision. I will start from the landing page here as I am recording that video on the 15th of November. We have already surpassed 1,000 teams being registered. I will go through the flow of registering a team and will get my freshly dropped players. Here I am just after the confirmation of my new registration. I am greeted by the first choice in the game to pick the captain, and the team nominates the best players at each position to be nominated for the captain role. I might pick the strongest player from the options or go with the most visually interesting one. In this current version, the preseason build, choosing a captain only provides a visual element, which is the captain's armband. Currently, the captain does not have a direct impact on gameplay. For example, my strongest player here is Mr. Garcia with a 58 rating. I'll talk more later about how these ratings are defined based on player attributes, or in other words, their skills. Funny enough, looking at all four players, no one has unique visuals, which I was hoping one of them would have, which would have made my captain choice a bit easier. The overall player rating range in this preseason stage is anywhere between 45 and 60. So anything between 55 and 60 is considered a good rating for players at this level. While this is true for the overall rating, some skills might go up to 65, but on that point, I will investigate the entire squad in a minute. So how do I choose my captain right now? When there's no direct impact on performance, my captain will be the player I see in some of the guiding messages we get as club owners. In this case, I will go ahead with the Reginald. He looks like someone who can do the job in tough times. That will be my captain. He has a brief welcoming message for me, confirming we are in the pre-season and what we can expect from the game. His message points me towards my assets section, where I will land and get myself known with the team. First, let's set the stage. We have 20 players in total. Every team receives a fixed squad of 20 players with a set amount for each position: 6 forwards, 6 midfielders, 6 defenders, and just 2 goalkeepers. Where the game stands currently, the role of the goalkeeper is more of a supporting one. They have a smaller role in the overall gameplay. I'm actually going to start with the midfielders. Let me select a view that will focus on them only. I would argue that the midfielders are perhaps the most important players in the game. Why? Because the midfielders are the ones who will determine the outcome of the initial clash. When you have a match, it consists of 9 rounds, and the clash between the midfielders will determine which team gets the opportunity to attack the opponent. That's why they are so crucial. If you don't have a strong midfield line, you'll be handicapped. You won't be able to generate as many attacks as you want and may be forced to focus more on defending. Defending is a legitimate strategy, by the way, making sure the opponent's stamina is drained or their players might get injured because they are pushed to invest more stamina to get through your defense. This could be a winning strategy depending on how we decide to tackle each game. Let's spend a bit of time analyzing my midfielders. Let's start with my strongest midfielder, Abil Zouk, or Abil, not sure the more accurate pronunciation. He was suggested as a captain, but let's see if that's actually the case. His skills, he has 61 dribbling, which is the second most important skill, and his most heavily weighted skill, passing, is also 61. The downside, unfortunately, he has extremely high injury susceptibility levels here, sitting at 79, which is very far from ideal. Secondary skills, his speed is 49, and his strength is a little less at 45. The least important skills for the midfield with almost no impact on performance are tackling and shooting. On paper, Abiel Zouk looks strong and has a high rating mainly because of his passing skill sitting at 61, but overall, I wouldn't say he's my best. Let's check Derek Roth next. Passing. Derek Roth actually has 64 passing, more than Abiel Zouk. He has only 28 injury susceptibility. Overall, he's better suited in terms of potential high performance than Zouk. I would definitely want to keep Derek in my starting squad. Dribbling, his dribbling is 58. Anything around 60 is quite good, so he might be my strongest midfielder. Let me check who to check next. Here we have Mr. Apollonio Jones sitting at a 51 rating. His skills, he has 55 passing and 54 dribbling, pretty close again. We can see how the skills are getting lower as we go down the ratings. Injury susceptibility, 24, this is okay. Anything between 15 and 30 is expected and normal. Above 30, we have more fragile players, and approaching 100, we have players who most probably won't proceed further in their career path. Anything below 15 is a strong man, a player who can push more stamina and perform better in any particular round, making them very, very valuable. Next is Mr. Lamont Brown, passing 58, which is actually a little bit more than Jones. This is good. Passing has a multiplier of 5 for performance. Dribbling has a multiplier of 2.5. Speed and strength have a multiplier of 1. Shooting is 0.4. Tackling has the smallest impact, making it the least important for midfielders. Finally, we have Raymond Davis and the weakest link, Gary Conrad. Raymond Davis, his passing is 46. He is a good example of a player who has a weaker main skill than secondary skill, yet still has a bigger rating than Gary. Anything before 50 is quite weak. And I will only use him in rounds where taking the midfield is not critical, or even when I'm expecting to be defending Gary Conrad. His passing is 48, a little higher than Raymond's, but his secondary skill dribbling is 49. But he has an injury susceptibility of 5. This is very interesting. He is a strong man, so I can push him more. I can invest 60, 70, or even 80 stamina with him, expecting a drastically lower chance of injury compared to Mr. Zouk. Gary might be able to compensate for his lack of skills because of his excellent injury susceptibility. I will have a challenging time deciding who goes into the starting 14, especially considering Gary's stamina advantage over Raymond Davis' 48 susceptibility. Now, I know what I'm dealing with in terms of the midfield line of my team. By the way, I skipped that part in the registration video recording, but the team name is London Eagles. Now, let's focus on the forwards. We have 6 forwards. The strongest one at first glance is Clifford Gwynn. Let me expand his profile so we can see what we are dealing with. Will start from injury, susceptibility only 16. That is amazing. Very good. His skills, he has 61 shooting, very close to 65, which is the current limit for the drop players. His secondary skill is dribbling. For attackers, the first skill is shooting, and the second is dribbling. The downside, his dribbling is only 47, which is a bit weaker. If his dribbling was higher, like 60, he would be an amazing, very strong forward, and his overall rating would be closer to 60. Still, he will perform well as I can put more stamina into his efforts. Shooting and dribbling are the key skills for the attackers, having multiplier coefficients of 5 and 2.5 respectively. Speed and strength have the same weight, a multiplier of 1. The least important for attackers will be passing and tackling. Clifford has very small passing and tackling, which is fine. I don't need him to be strong in that aspect. I'm very happy with Clifford Gwynn. He will definitely be my starting player. Let's check who is the next one. Kevin Medina. Injury susceptibility is decent-ish, not too bad, not great. 32 is still manageable, But generally speaking, if we go above 30, 40 and more, it becomes an exponential issue. His shooting is 53, but his secondary skill dribbling is actually stronger at 56, which compensates a little and gives him a good overall rating. His speed is 47 and strength is 43. I would say he's on the higher end of being a mediocre player, but he's not a star player. Unfortunately, I don't have any star players in this squad, so I have to be very active in the preseason quests to earn more players, as trading is currently not planned for this early game stage in the preseason. But it is one of the main features that will come down the road. Let's look at the 47 rated forwards, Roy Salmier and Ulrich. Let's check. Roy Salmier, shooting 47, strong secondary skill of 57, dribbling, good injury susceptibility of 30. He will most definitely make it into the starting 14. He also has a small, rare cosmetic trait, a nose patch. Let me quickly switch back and forth between the two players as I see Ulrich's shooting is 48, 1 point higher than Roy, dribbling 50, lower than Roy, injury susceptibility 17, lower than Roy. They are pretty much the same. I will most probably start with at least 4 forwards. Clifford, Joseph Taukok, who I almost missed and is my second strongest striker in terms of rating. Kevin and one of Roy or Ulrich. And let's check this poor fella Stevens with the fancy, very traditional English surname of Throckmorton. Unfortunately, he got the lowest rating of 44 out of all attackers and has a very high IS rating of 63 and a nightmare of a shooting for an attacker of 45. I won't consider him to be part of the starting lineup at this stage. But yeah, as mentioned, we will need some more players in that position so we can push this final third where scoring goals is happening in the upcoming matches. I think I will try all of them just to check with what forward strategy I'm feeling most confident. Okay, so now what is left are the defenders. Let's go there and check them thoroughly. Our defenders rating range from 58, our captain Garcia, to 51 of Mr. Bennett Kostic, who might be of Balkan descent. We got lucky with the defense line, at least looking at the overall rating, which might be a bit misleading if the main skill is not strong enough or if some of them have a high injury rating. Speaking of the main skill, for defenders, it is the tackling stat, which has a coefficient of 5. But let's open captain's profile and discover what his tackling is. I could imagine it is higher. It is indeed not only high, but it is the highest. I couldn't be happier with that. And can't be more sad because of his IS of 60, quite handicapped, unfortunately. His second most important skill, strength, is almost maxed out as well. But the chance of him getting injured easily handicaps him quite a lot. The secondary group skills for defenders are speed and passing, which are set at a weight of 1. Passing is 44, weak, and speed is 47, a little better. If he were in terms of eyes lower than 30, I wouldn't have anything to complain about. Let's check back on the other players. I hope their injury stats will be more relaxed. I see we have 2 players sitting at 53. Mr. Gusto, not sure if his first name is Ulysses, but I hope that he won't be useless. And the other one with rating 53 is Jules. Let's check Gusto first. Goddamn, his injury score is 89, making him maybe the most fragile player in the squad. And about the other guy, Jules, thank God, his IS score is only 7 and has a strong injury resistance. He will definitely make it in the starting lineup, especially with a tackling of 64. Let's check the rest of the defending crew. The ratings of Clemens, Elon, and Bennett are quite close to each other. Let me check them quickly. I will focus on their tackling and how prone they are to injury so I can get a feeling of what I'm dealing with here. Okay, actually looking good, not bad at all. See here, Elon got 26 IS and 56 tackling and strength. The next guy to him, Clemens, got IS of 23 and main skills at 57 and 62. The last guy, Bennett, is apparently a strongman with IS of 6 and main skills sitting at 50 and 65. Actually, he might not be bad at all. Zooming out on the defenders, I think I will go with Reginald just to check how he will handle the high IS that he got. Plus Jules, Bennett, and Clemens. I might leave out of the squad Ulysses, who might be useless after all, and potentially Elon, or I might rotate Elon with Jules, as Elon looks more well-rounded defender, but Jules has more main skill points. Let's move quickly to our two goalkeepers, as they are only supporting roles to the defenders. I left them last. We don't want to overload the game with too much complexity yet. That is why we left the goalkeeper's depth use case for later down the roadmap. As they are only a support to the defenders, they have a fixed stamina of 10 points out of 100 per round. So now we have two goalkeepers, Gil Evans and William Donkin. They are pretty close to one another in stats. I will pick the one with better goalkeeping. Their injury susceptibility isn't that important currently, as we are not considering them to have a chance to be injured. With that, my 10,000-foot overview of the players is completed, and I now feel a bit more confident knowing them. In the next video, I will assemble the squad and might go with a few options that I can pick before each match. Until then, thank you once again for investing your time to get part of our journey. If you consider joining our Discord and Twitter, you will help us a lot. If what we are doing looks good to you and you're having a nice time, please be active and share your feedback. With your help, we will build something awesome where everyone will be able to build their tournaments and competitions and have fun with their community.